guys so much for joining us tonight for our Mardi Gras celebration. I want to introduce you to Patrick Braillard, who's part of our entertainment team, and he is the show director for Mardi Gras.
Hi there!
Hi!
How's it going? Woo! Woo! Yeah, Mardi Gras is a party. That's the first and foremost thing you got to know about Mardi Gras. We've been doing it for 19 years, and it is a beast every single year to get up and running, but it is something that is so worthwhile for our guests, and we love doing it because where else do you get to just throw a party and everybody shows up? What we're going to do is we're going to walk you past 4 of our brand new floats this year, one of which is a revamped Jester, and then 3 floats that are thematically poised in our parade to tell a story. One of the things that we wanted to focus on this year, and I'll get a little bit more into it as we pass by each float individually, is that we wanted to tell a story. And one day we were actually talking, myself and Curtis Hopkins, who's a senior scenic designer, about stories. Just what stories do we want to tell? And we knew that we had the previous floats from last year, which were from China, India, and Mexico, Day of the Dead. And we said, well, that's kind of a tour around the world, and we thought, oh, around the world in 80 days. That gives us the opportunity to turn the theme park and the parade into a steampunk, turn-of-the-century, fun-filled spectacle. It's a lot of fun, and I hope you guys enjoyed the floats. Let's go ahead and go down there, give you guys some minutes to take some pictures, video, whatever you want, and then meet back up for a little bit of Q&A. Sound good?
Yeah.
Awesome, let's go. This float is called Set Sail. It is based on the ocean voyage that they take in the book, and it is the very first float that you're going to see as it makes its way, or actually, yes, it's the first float as they make their way. What you're going to do is you're going to set sail, and we wanted to create a kind of a hybrid and a mixture of different thematics when you're looking at this particular float. We wanted to first of all change our dynamic as far as our floats are concerned. Typically in the past we've had floats that have a collage kind of feel to them. They are hodgepodge. There's a lot of different elements that are stuffed onto the float, and they all bend towards that thematic, but that they are all separate and different. This is one of the very first times we've taken one single piece and made it one giant float. And we also wanted to blend a couple of styles. You notice the wood and the gantry, as well as this piece of a fairly familiar submarine. It's not the Nautilus. It isn't. And then, of course, the octopus that's there on the back is just our little blend of humor. By all means, take pictures of this, and we're going to walk down. The next float is going to be Break New Ground. Break New Ground is based on the railroad that they took halfway through the book on their way to India. And then we've got Fly Away, which is down on the end. And Fly Away is particularly interesting for me because when speaking about the former use of collage type thematic on our floats, that has more pieces sculpted by Kern than any other float in the history of Mardi Gras. Over 65 pieces have been used on that particular float that are hand carved by Kern. And then at the very end you've got our new revamped Jester float. We're really excited about that because Jester is one of our what we call our traditional floats. Typically we won't touch our traditionals. Jester, King and Queen, Title, those are ones that usually are mainstays in our parade, and we were looking at Jester earlier this year and said to ourselves, it needs to be revamped, it needs to be brighter, it needs to be more vivid, and I think we're successful. So please, by all means, take pictures, all you would like.
With regards to floats, the Mardi Gras celebration, range, street performers, anything.
Did you know that's Lisa? Is that from the book, or is that a special name?
That is a special name. It's Lissa, short for Melissa, who happens to be my beautiful wife.
Oh.
Yes. Well, yeah, she was happy until she figured out that I named after a huge boat.
Any questions?
The Jester, you mentioned that that's like one of those classics, and it was kind of a big decision to dress that up. So what kind of, what made you think it was time, and how did you kind of retain that original feel while adding some wow to it?
We talked to the people who actually put together the original one. The people on art and design worked really, really hard year in and year out to create all of our floats. And so we had the opportunity to go back and look at the source material of the drawings and the original work that was done on the first float. And we said, okay, what pieces of the architecture do we want to retain? That arch back there is brand new, but the balustrades are the same. We revamped and did all brand new beadwork along it, and we kept one of the same masks, but we updated the paint treatment on it and then split the focus. Previously there were two masks on each side, and we said, no, we want to not only make a statement about the fact that we're changing this over, but because it's so beautiful, it's now leading the parade out. no longer is Riverboat the first float that comes out at the front of the parade. We now have Jester leading that out to start the party.
Any additional questions before we... Ricky?
Patrick.
Yes.
Two quick questions. One, the number on the train, is that significant in any way?
It is, but you'd have to ask Curtis Hopkins, our designer, for it.
Okay. And two, I was particularly taken by the lighting effects on the blimp and that whole float. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Absolutely. If you've seen some of our parades in the past, particularly our old music float, it had what's called cosmic string on it, on the guitar, and those lights were able to jump and be pre-programmed. We took that material and we put it on the blimp that's back there. And so as you watch the parade, you'll actually see that blimp being lit on all of those ribs, and they will actually spin and change color, and it's really wonderful, especially on that particular float, because, and I want you all, as you walk past it, to really check out the detail in the paintwork, because when it changes colors, that entire float ends up changing colors. It looks like one giant birthday cake as it's going down, and it's beautiful. It's probably, color-wise, it's definitely my favorite float.
Do you know how many pounds of confetti you go through in a parade?
No. I know that roughly 166,000 beads are thrown on a nightly basis. That's a lot of beads, but I have no idea how many poundage of confetti. That's a really good question. Yeah, no, it's okay. I know that hundreds of pounds of glitter are used every year. I mean, buckets, literal 5-gallon drums will show up and our decor team will go to work. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, you also can't go in that building without getting glitter on you.
And I think probably everybody here knows, but maybe not the people that are watching. Can you speak to the fact that Kern works with you on these floats, that these are real, actual floats by the same company that does Mardi Gras?
Oh yeah, these are authentic floats. Kern's Mardi Gras World in New Orleans has been working since early half of the 20th century on all of the Mardi Gras floats for New Orleans. All the super crews go to Kern. And so when we decided that we were going to start doing the Mardi Gras parade, we went to Kern and worked with them hand in hand to develop a relationship so that year in and year out, they work to develop and help build all of our floats. So while we might design the floats in-house, all of the work for carving and all of the work that goes into the props on the floats will end up in Kern's shop. So it's a great partnership. It's wonderful.
And how long is the build process?
It takes about a year. We'll go into negotiations or conversations, as it were, with the design team, myself and a couple of other show directors, starting right now. And we're about a week away from starting Mardi Gras 2015. Yeah, it's crazy, but it's a lot of fun. It's great.
Is there any additional questions before we go any one-on-one walkthroughs?
You have a rich tradition of all kinds of different Mardi Gras floats, but every year you bring new ones in. How do you decide which ones to go and which ones to keep?
That's probably one of the most difficult things that we do. Some of it's personal preference, some of it's wear and tear, and also depending on what fits in that next year. One of the ways I helped design the 2012 floats, so those floats I was very close to. And these three floats, past Jester, ended up replacing those in the lineup. And we took the floats from last year to fit into this aesthetic because it does tell one cohesive story. You literally start in Orlando and then you go all the way around the world to New Orleans to finish the parade. And that was what the catalyst was for this particular year. But it's different every single year. Just what's going to fit that overall look. Yeah.
Ricky?
When I saw this parade a couple of weeks ago, I left thinking this was probably your best Mardi Gras parade yet.
Wow.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. Why do you think that is?
I don't know. That's what I'm asking.
I don't know. I can tell you that our costuming team went above and beyond this year with our characters. Those people are amazing in fabrication and design. David Nadalski, Susan Moore, they did a phenomenal job this year designing the costumes. And our characters are wonderful. I kind of feel like it's Mardi Gras grown up. We literally have gone above and beyond with the costumes. Stick around, watch the parade. It is gorgeous. The people that we have are phenomenal performers. Plus, it's a lot of fun to tell a story. I know that some of the guests won't get it. They'll be standing on the side and they'll just look at pretty parade float after pretty parade float. But I like being able to tell a story. And as a storyteller, you want that feeling when people walk away to have seen an entire beginning, middle, and end.
Good answer.
Thank you.